Kushida. That's right. We're doing it's new series alert, new series review. That's right. We're talking about Alien Headbutt, the third and final new series in this batch of Weekly Shonen Jump new series. It's by rookie artist Akira Inui. This is his first serialization in Shonen Jump. Tom, do you like wrestling?
That's a good question to ask anybody before going into this, because if you aren't as into pro wrestling as the main character here, you might not like immediately buy into versus somebody who really is, because I am not into wrestling. I know almost nothing about it. I've seen a super eye patch wolf or two, on pro wrestling, and I even still I can't quite. I feel like I'm good at empathizing with people's passions, even those like hour-long tear-jerking eye patch wolf classics.
Man, you don't get it. It doesn't connect for you.
I can't quite get there with the pro wrestling, and it's not because don't you know it's fake. That people will say that, like, I can't even believe anybody would even think it's real. And so it's not actually a real complaint. So that's not what I'm saying. I just have never quite got into it. And
my buddy,
that's it. I don't know.
One of my really best buddies, Billy, he is a huge pro wrestling fan, and he said something really, really educated about people who like pro wrestling. And he's basically like 10. He's like 10% of pro wrestling is the best shit you'll ever experience in your entire life. And then there's the other 90%, which is like kind of not great. And your fanship is determined by how much you enjoy the 90%. And I feel like there's quite a bit of mediums that are like that, where most of it's kind of shit, but if you like the kind of shitty parts, or if you can appreciate some of the less exciting elements of it,
I think sports in general are like that, to be honest. Like,
totally.
Like every tennis match like amazing where you're craning the neck back of it? No, but there's that 10% matches that can reach like a broad on it. Tiger Woods is one of these like golfers. Like, do you like golf or do you like Tiger Woods? Like, that's it.
Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. Why did I say Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. Wow. Why did I say that?
Yeah. Tiger Woods. Or like another great example is one of my good buddies who was in college. He was really into baseball. He explained to me how how to watch it on a pitch by pitch basis to make it interesting.
The game, the match.
Yeah, exactly. And it can explain the more deeper elements of the game by they go around the fucking bases and hit the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, wrestling is very much one of those sports where you either you're really into it, or you're really not.
Look, I'm not going to get over saying Tiger Woods twice. I've literally read his biography on him. Like, sorry, I apologize, everyone out there. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, I think pro wrestling is probably very similar, where like you get so familiar with the grammar of the structure of those like performances that the hyper detail of how things play out in a match.
And that's exactly how they watch them. That's exactly how like they have this metas like ranking like 5-star like ranking system on how they rate matches. And it's very like, again, they have their own wrestling viewers have their own technical metagame for reviewing the matches, which I think is very, very interesting. And our main character, his name is Shirokiba Oga, is one of these people. He is one of these wrestling freaks. He's doing Cobra Twist on his fellow schoolboys. He's got wrestling posters in his room, and he wants to be a championship level pro wrestler. But he's from a small island.
Yeah, he's on like a random. He's not even like main island Japan.
Yeah, he's off on one of those small no name islands. And he's got a big family. He's like the oldest of I think it's like 5 kids. He's the oldest of 5. And his father passed away. So when he turns like 15, he decides that he decides he's going to become a fisherman, basically try to just support the family however he can, give up on his dream of becoming a wrestler. But, you know, shout out his fucking gay, shout out his family, shout out his mom, shout out his younger brother. They're like, no way, dude. They get him a ticket to Tokyo. They're like, we already submitted your application.
That was
you got in.
Yeah,
such a sweet moments. And then the younger brother is like, I'm the man of the house now. You don't have to worry about it. The great little scene where the family all sends him off. Like, you care. You're like, oh, I like this family, and you like him too. It's like I was reading it, and like Oga, the main character, is like if Denji from Chainsaw Man had like a family that loved him and cared about him, and also he had like kind of had his shit together.
Yeah.
Kind of similar.
This guy's ripped.
Yeah, he's. Oh my god, this is one of the most jacked guys
I've ever seen.
Ever.
Especially chapter 1, you know,
in that flashback. He's 15 too in that flashback. So he goes to Tokyo. We flash forward 5 years. He's 20 years old, and he ends up taking home the premier championship belt in his division. I will not say heavyweight championship or world title, or say specifics, but he's got a championship belt that's worthy of prestige, that to be proud of. So he ends up taking that belt, going back home to his home island to see his family for the first time since he's left. Because this is a guy with some resolve, Tom. Shirokiba's, he's like, I'm not saying anything to my family, and I'm coming back with the belt.
I couldn't help but think of, like, this is the exact character trait I think, love. Like, you love this type of just, like, intense, like, commitment to a goal and seeing it out and being a man of your word. Like, you definitely
got to put it all on the line. Yeah, oh, I love it.
That is like a Sam Kingma core philosophy and personality trait you're like glom onto. I think that's what I was thinking when he was talking about that.
It's so good. And he's coming back. He's riding high off his win. And also, by the way, he's like he's a heel type character. Which, if you're not familiar with wrestling, is basically a more villainish persona on the mat. So like in his championship, when he's like chaining the guy up with like weapons and stuff, and beats him with a cool ass suplex. And he's riding back. He's talking with, just a guy also from his hometown. Very like friendly older dude. Keeps calling him like guy. Hey, like, hey guy, what's up? Offers him a drink. Does not drink. Shout out one of my top 5 favorite shonen tropes. All the protagonists don't drink unless your name is Tokiyuki Hojo. Your ass is not drinking.
I believe it said tea toddler. The translated that's a very low. It has to be a localized translation there. Tea toddler, which is a very like old timey way to say that.
Which is funny. What's funny is it's brought up twice, which I find very funny. It's brought up by a character who's not him. It's brought up by his coach and like the chairman of the wrestling organization. His name is Oniyashiki. He's like, no, he doesn't drink. And then again, this older guy on the boat's like, oh, let's celebrate your win. I got this big bottle and I won a bunch of money at Pachinko. And he's like, nah, I won't drink until I retire. So they end up getting off the boat. The boat attendant just kind of drops him off and then just turns back to mainland Japan. Doesn't really say anything to him. And as they're walking to the mainland, they find
they take a beat to be like,
they're like, something's up, and they find a car accident.
Before we get into this old manga opens, the first page, your little whiplash moment, because the first page is like, this thing crashes onto this island in 2028.
I'll pull it up.
So you're like, okay, this is one thing, and then like the next page, it's like, oh, we're just doing wrestling now for right now. Okay.
February 10th, 2028 at 9:31 a.m. On that day, 28 degrees, 27 degrees north latitude, 130 degrees. I don't know how to say the numbers.
Look, I want to say Tiger Woods. I said Tiger Wolf. That's can that be the thumbnail? Just a tiger and a wolf.
Yes.
It's just like one of those Animorphs or something. I don't know. Jeez.
On that day, something landed. and that we just that's kind of the ominous opening lead color page.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring that up before because you're not like you. Why I mentioned the boat guy and then the car crashing is you actually are you. I'm thinking about this opening page in the back of my head now. He's going back of like something's wrong here, and how they keep laying in this. I thinking back to that first page, so it's important we set that first page up.
And then so that we get a sort of this beautiful spread where they're quiet, where it's all quiet, cars crash, there's no real like blood or noise
or commotion.
Yeah. And they're kind of just like, what, this is just not right. And then you turn the page and you get an incredible 2-page spread of the older guy that he was talking to getting his head clean decapitated by a 6'5" alien alien humanoid creature, like gray creature. And it is just like, what the fuck? And then
right,
things
you're right. And I remember Lily audibly going, oh damn, like right as you see his just body strewn to the pavement.
It's on. It's like, oh my god. You're like, oh shit. Like first of all, you're like, fuck, I like that guy. He was sick. And then, oh my god. And then that alien starts going to town on Shirokiba, and he's kind of getting this. He's fucking kind of getting his shit rocked. And there's this great little panel where he's got a picture of his family that gets like thrown up in the air, and as it's like falling down, he sees it, and the alien behind him is like is gearing up for this giant ass fucking punch to nail him. And it's looking like things are not fucking gonna go well for him until, of course, we get a classic shonen flashback to his mentor character when he was training to become a pro wrestler, basically being like, you know, you can't, if you're gonna be a champion in the ring, like you can't just do it for yourself. Like selfish people do not make it this far in this business. Like you need to be fighting for something. He's like, I'm fighting for my fucking family. I vowed that I'm not gonna talk to him until I get this fucking belt. And he's like, that's what I like to fucking see. That's what you gotta do. Show your fucking fangs. And that's what he fucking does. So you get a couple of great panels of him punching the shit out of the alien. He does the go to hell suplex.
Yeah, because he's the Hellbound, right? That's his
he's the Hellhound. Yeah, the Hellhound.
Yeah,
and the art is immaculate. Some fine action, really impactful panels. There's this really great shot of him fucking punching it, and his fucking left foot is like you can just see the like you can feel the weight coming off his like off his forefoot.
Yeah.
Such a really well done art. Unbelievable. This guy's a rookie and has never done weekly serialization. Hopefully he can keep it up on a week-to-week basis. But I was like extremely impressed with the art. And needless to say, he ends up beating the alien, although the alien does get a pot shot in at the end. He's got like a tentacle, a very Gantz-esque moment. Sort of the alien just kind of has a tentacle and fucking attacks someone he's already dead. It
reminded me, if I could use a prop,
please,
from my gamer shelf, of the Emmy
from Metroid Dread,
where he's like his eye sent a little hook into him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he just rips it on. He's like, oh, fuck this. And he's off to find his family. We don't know what happened to him. We don't know if they're alive. We don't know if they're dead. We don't know if some are still around or if some got cooked. Like,
no, I would agree. Like the execution of the action in this manga is stellar. I do think just static dialogue scenes, the portraits of the characters are not as polished as I expected. So I was kind of at the beginning, I wasn't feeling the art as much because it's just a lot of talking. I didn't feel like there's a specific panel when it's like all of his siblings are around, him talking about, you know, how cute they are and how much they love their brother. The composition was very confusing and not completely like dialed in as
it's again. So I know the exact frame you're talking about. There's some
rookie stuff there. Clearly his thing that his like specialty, a special power, as a manga, is a guy, I assume. Manga,
yes, it
is the action and the fighting and the wrestling, which is clearly a passion of it has to be to make a manga about this. The more like static dialogue, just basic stuff, that connective tissue, I didn't feel like was as strong.
No, but also at the same time, that's the type of stuff too that gets
Yeah,
like it just gets that just stuff that just when you're at like when you're in the 30s and 40s, if
it
it
gets
ends up
ironed
sticking
out.
around,
Yeah,
it just gets kind of
I
resolved.
know, just, what
Um,
something.
and I think it's pretty interesting. I'm excited because we kind of just get a lot of the story from his perspective. We don't know. Again, we don't know if his family's still alive. We don't know if there's other people on the island who
Or
can combat these
other
things.
aliens too. Yeah, we've only seen one so far.
Yeah, and we can kind of get some hints at the based on like the color spread, like of some other creatures he might be going
Mhm.
up against. But um, yeah, will he go to outer space and take the fight to them? Will he, is he gonna maybe will he go to other places outside of his home island to fight the aliens? I feel like they could take the story in a lot of different directions, which is exciting from like a week to week base perspective as well.
Yeah,
And
it reminded me a lot of Parasite too. It was a manga with an kind of an alien, but they're more like parasites, and they take over other bodies. But then those other bodies go around and killing people randomly. So and they're really hyper like powerful and whatnot. So I was feeling that. I see if anyone's watching Pluribus on
oh
Apple
yeah,
TV, they don't fight as much, but like just going to a place and there's just cars crashed and everything's empty. Like
everything's yeah,
yeah,
exactly that like eerie
yeah.
quietness. I,
So
I'm really curious. I really want to read chapter two.
so
I'll say this: I think of all Under Doctor,
I was going to
Kanato's
ask you
Magic,
this exact
Alien
question.
Headbutt. This is like I think this so clears as the best of the three. I think yeah, I think it's easy for me. I think it's this Under Doctor, and then I think Kanato's Magic. I think probably like two or three steps below that.
I feel
Um,
similarly actually to you. Under Doctor, I think it did, like you said, this one gets a lot of like character and story at once, um, in a way that you really like feel for the guy and you want to see what happens. Where Under Doctor, I think he's still more of a mystery as a
yeah,
protagonist, which is
eh,
intriguing in its own right. But yeah,
exactly. That's part of it. And I've been keeping up with Under Doctor too. And I read and I read the while we're fucking here talking about it, I read the
yeah,
second chapter of Kanato's Magic today, and I thought it was a little bit better than the first chapter. It introduced a funny concept to me that I don't think
yeah.
I've seen before in a Shonen Jump series, where the character is the first to rank like even lower than the lowest possible ranking.
Oh, like the
Typically it's the
protagonist.
opposite. Typically the shonen protagonist nowadays gets introduced and they're S tier as opposed to fucking Yuji Itadori comes into the fucking world and he's fucking top keck. Chihiro's got a fucking enchanted blade, puts him at top of the verse immediately. Meanwhile, this guy and he's like, yeah, you're below a bronze
Yeah,
rank, which I thought was a little funny. But Under Doctor, yeah, it's much more about the individual stories and less a bit about him. Although we're getting a little bit more here and there, but I want to keep reading fucking Alien Headbutt. I want to see what other aliens he fucking fights. I want to see some more action scenes. I want to see what happened to this island. I want to see if we go elsewhere. And I think this could potentially stick around. I don't want to make a hard claim on it.
it's got a good catchy title that can make people like double take a little bit. Alien Headbutt, which that does matter when it
Yeah,
comes
and
to
I think
Shonen
too,
Jump. Yeah,
like, and this is the thing too. You got to keep in mind, like, this is a more like because you got different series. Like I think like a popular series like Blue Box, right? Like very popular Shonen Jump series, not really battle oriented. Weekly Shonen Jump, they're known for their battle series. They want to have a good swath of multiple high quality battle series. I think from an art perspective, I think this gets there. It's just a matter of consistently producing week over week, and then also having a narrative and characters that are fun to follow too. If you get that trilogy, trio, your art, a good hook, and compelling characters, you got a successful jump series.
I have a question for you, Sam, because you
Sure.
have a secret talent, a hidden talent, I think, and correct me if I'm remembering wrong, that maybe we could introduce to these new episodes, or the new,
Please.
like, I think you can have a skill at predicting how long a series can run.
Yeah,
like the potential, like, scope. And
Yeah,
right now, I'm not feeling huge scope here. It doesn't feel like the first chapter of because the aliens just got here. It's not like there's this whole society. Maybe there is, but like, anyway.
It can. So like,
what's the chapter length that you can clock the series at, and we can track this?
Yeah, let's see, because I think it's really a matter of this. I think from what has been introduced, you can expand the scope very easily of this. I even threw out a few of them earlier, going to different parts of Earth that maybe got invaded and showing up and doing some suplexing shit on top of the Eiffel Tower or some shit. He could go to outer space. There could be other humans fighting him. There could be other, sort of special shit at play, like special abilities and stuff get thrown in. So they can expand it. I don't think this will get canceled. Here's the thing. I don't think this will get canceled. I don't think this will be a U19. I don't think this will be a series that gets canceled within the first 19 chapters. I think it's going to at least make it to 35. I'll say that. I feel pretty confident that based on everything in the magazine right now and how everything's going, I think this will probably make it through at least 4 volumes, at least. I think Under Doctor will also similarly last that long. I think Kanado's Magic is probably going to get canceled before chapter like 25. And maybe before 30, it might get a few more in there depending on when cancellations come through. But I feel good about this one. About this one sticking around at least for a little bit. In a few more weeks, I'll have a more solid answer.
That's no fun if you got.
But no.
Predictions are predictions,
But just the over
under,
the over under. I think it's more. I think it's over 35 chapters for sure.
Okay.
Actually, that's not a fun. No, over 40. Over 40. That's a funner number.
Okay. I will not be reading this.
Oh,
I think this is the closest one to be like, I want to see more fights. The wrestling hook, I just don't have that connection, and I just know that like that's going to be a big part of the appeal, and good. I'm glad it is, but I just don't have a connection to that at all. That kind of,
and I have a feeling that. I don't necessarily think it's going to be that big of a hook. I simply just think that his toolkit, his battle set abilities.
Oh, you don't think the other wrestlers are going to come in and they're going to make a squad?
I don't think so, because this is his hometown. And
but I assume they're going to get out of the hometown eventually.
I think so. So too. Again, it's one of these things. I feel like this story can go in a few different ways, because it's definitely very shown. Because what would be very shonen is in like the second or third chapter, he is introduced to an organization that is tasked with eliminating the alien threat, and he teams up with them using his wrestling abilities.
Yeah, you need an organization.
Because this is typically how this goes. In Aliens area, it was like this from a few years ago. Fabricant 100
Even One Punch Man
was like
does this.
One Punch Man was like this. Demon Slayer has the Demon Slayer core. Jujutsu Kaisen has Jujutsu Kaisen High and Kyoto High.
You need organizations are important.
The Kamunagi
I think
Kagurabachi.
Wrestling is the organization here too. It could be. Anyway,
the WWE is going to fight aliens.
Why not?
That'd be pretty sick. Yeah. Honestly, that'd be a pretty crazy arc. If they're just straight up fighting extraterrestrials now. But anyways, let us know what you thought of Alien Headbutt. Are you going to keep reading it? And where do you rank it
I like it,
between
yeah.
that, Under Doctor, and Kanado's Magic? Let us know. Let us know if you're a Kanado Magic fan. Maybe you think we're a bunch of idiots. Maybe you think our tastes are crap.